We've been waiting as so much information has come out about the shooting on the set of Rust, where Alec Baldwin shot and killed Helena Hutchins and injured director Joel Souza. We've heard the armorer come out through her attorneys because she's been under a lot of criticism. The incredibly inexperienced armorer who had problems on her last set, where she evidently pissed off a bunch of people for unsafe weapons handling and just in general not keeping the set safe. And of course, the assistant director has come under a ton of fire for his past and the fact that he admitted he did not properly check the weapon before he handed it to Alec Baldwin. But now, yesterday, Alec Baldwin spoke out, and I did a video immediately reacting to it, but I wanted to go over this a little bit more because the more I think about it, the more I watch Alec Baldwin, the more that I see his body language, the way that he treated his wife, the fact that this dude doesn't seem broken up about it, really. And in fact, while saying that I can't talk about it, he spent 3 minutes talking about it. So I wanted to watch this again and just go over it a little more in detail. I got to give a shout out to Viva Frey, who clipped this and put it all out there. A lot of other people did as well. But let's watch Alec Baldwin and his wife right here. That's who this is, his wife. Watch the way he talks to her at points in this interview. And it should be noted that the press did not like ambush him right here. They were waiting outside his house, standing outside his house, right? And they specifically started walking across the street, and then they waved the press over. Alec Baldwin's wife waves the press over for this because they wanted to speak to them. That's how this started. And here is from Viva Frey. Let's take a listen.
Alec, what's the current state of what's going on with the case?
I'm not allowed to make any comments because it's an ongoing investigation. I've been ordered by the Sheriff's Department in Santa Fe. I can't answer any questions about the investigation. I can't. Okay. It's an active investigation in terms of a woman dying. She was my friend.
All right, so he starts off by saying, I can't answer any questions. I can't answer any questions about the investigation. If that is true, he continues to talk about things, including parts of what actually did happen for about 3 minutes. So if that's the case, he probably shouldn't have said anything in general and left it at that. However, he didn't. Because what he wants to do is he wants to spin this entire thing. He wants to make the people he's talking to and you, who's getting the message, he wants to make you feel bad for him. And I'll be honest, you know, I did at the beginning of this, and I still do to some extent, have sympathy because I know he didn't mean to do this. I know that this was not intentional. It was out of negligence from him and a lot of other people involved. But at the same time, when you come out and you start doing stuff like this, it makes it really hard for anyone to feel bad for you.
She was my friend. The day I arrived in Santa Fe to start shooting, I took her to dinner with Joel, the director. We were a very, very,
This is his wife, right? This is his wife who's trying to say something to him, whether it's, hey, let's go, or whether it's, hey, maybe you shouldn't talk about it. Maybe you shouldn't say something like this. Maybe it's not going to look good. Look what he does to her, the body language he uses.
I took her to dinner with Joel, the director. We were a very, very, well-oiled crew shooting a film together, and then this horrible event happened. Now,
we were a very well-oiled crew shooting a film together. Keep in mind, there were report after report. Half the crew quit hours before this happened. What do you mean you were a well-oiled crew? To be honest with you, I think even that is trying to spin things because he has been at the center of a lot of controversy surrounding the conditions on the set of Rust, where people had to drive an hour and a half to go back to their hotel to sleep after a 14-hour workday just to drive an hour and a half back because Alec Baldwin and the rest of the producers got to stay in town and refused to pay the prime dollar that it would take to have them there. So I don't think you were that well oiled. There were tons of safety mistakes and problems on this set. More lies from Alec Baldwin.
I've been told multiple times, don't make any comments about the ongoing investigation. And I can't. That's it.
And you met with,
what are the questions that you have other than that?
You met with I forget her name at the moment, but you met with her family in the day.
Yes,
her name is Helena. If you're spending this much time waiting for us, you should know her name. Her name is Helena.
Look at that smile from Alec Baldwin and the anger from Alec Baldwin's wife. And you know what? Yeah, this guy probably nervous. He did forget the name. That's a bad look on that reporter. But at the same time, to now act, we're so offended. We're so offended from the Baldwins here. I don't know about that.
Her name is Helena.
Helena Hutchins. I met with her husband Matthew and her son. Yeah, that's right.
And how did that meeting go?
I wouldn't know how to characterize that. They're mortified.
You guys, you know what? No details.
But do me a favor. I'm gonna answer the question.
Do me a favor. Get out of here. I'm going to answer the questions. By the way, I'm going to continue to deflect and not actually answer many questions.
Well, I appreciate that he was probably very upset.
The guy is overwhelmed with grief. This is something that you know, there are incidental accidents.
Here it is. There are incidental accidents that happen. This was more than an accident, right? This was negligence by a bunch of people, including Alec Baldwin. And he's about to go and try to blame it on, other things, including guns being on set. Oh, that's so unsafe. We should evaluate that. Keep in mind how he's going to frame all this.
On film sets from time to time, but nothing like this. This is a 1 in a trillion episode. It's a 1 in a trillion event. And so he is in shock. He has a 9-year-old son. You know, we are, in constant contact with him because we're very worried about his family and his kid. And as I said, we're eagerly awaiting for the Sheriff's Department to tell us what their investigation has yielded. What else do you have?
Would you ever work on another film set that involves firearms of that nature?
I couldn't answer that question. I really don't have any. I have no sense of that at all. I do know that an ongoing effort to limit the use of firearms on film sets is something I'm extremely interested in. Where are you? But remember something that I think is important, and that is how many bullets have been fired in films and TV shows in the last 75 years? This is America. How many bullets have gone off?
This is America. We use guns all the time. We use guns all the time here in America. How many think have gone off?
In movies and on TV sets before. How many billions?
Billions and billions and billions. And we have part 2 right here from Viva Frey.
TV sets before. How many billions in the last 75 years? And nearly all of it without incident. So what has to happen now is we have to realize that when it does go wrong, and it's this horrible, catastrophic thing, some new measures have to take place. Rubber guns, plastic guns, no real armaments on set. That's not for me to decide.
So that's interesting that he said that, because we've heard all along, we've heard statements from a lot of people that there was not supposed to be any live ammunition on set, right? That's what we've been told. That's what the armorer claimed. That's what apparently Alec Baldwin claimed, right? I don't know how any live ammunition got on set. But listen to that, the fact that he's talking about potentially changing things so there's no live armaments on set. You said you didn't think that was the case. That's what everybody's claiming or trying to cover up and claim at the time. Listen again.
Guns, plastic guns, no real armaments on set. That's not for me to decide. It's urgent. It's urgent that you understand I'm not an expert in this field. So whatever other people decide is the best way to go in terms of protecting people's safety on film sets, I'm all in favor of, and I will cooperate with that in any way that I can.
Do you have any further projects in the works at the moment, or is everything on
hold?
No,
that's irrelevant to what we're talking about.
That's right.
Do you think production will start up again?
No, I doubt it. I sincerely doubt. Was there anything else?
Why Vermont?
So I don't want to talk about this, but any other question you ask me, it's not relevant to anything.
Because
that's
no,
that's a person. That's private. Yeah, that's private. Anything else? So just do me a favor, if you don't mind. My kids are in the car crying.
Because you guys are following.
And all I want to do, as a courtesy to you, I came to talk to you. I'm not allowed to comment on the investigation. I talk to the cops every day.
Yeah, so please, hey, listen, my kids are crying because you're following us around. You should feel bad about it. You should feel bad for us because we're the victims. That's what this is all about. This entire thing was Alec Baldwin trying to essentially pass blame onto everything else other than himself and to make himself look sympathetic. And I just think that's kind of a bad look right now, especially in the course of this 3 minutes. At no point in time do I feel like he looked remorseful, like he looked upset. Not really. He looked pretty calm, cool, and collected, and a little bit just irritated that he had to talk to anyone else. That's how he looked in this moment. And I think that it is a very, very bad look for him. And Viva Frey says something else very interesting. He is literally confirming his extensive familiarity with firearms and the fact that they shoot actual bullets on set, which to some might make his actions even more inexcusable and criminally negligent. So I don't think it was a good look for Alec Baldwin. I think that if you're Alec Baldwin's lawyers, you probably don't want him speaking because this did not make him look good in any way, shape, and form. And we'll see what happens. There's more stuff that's coming out. Evidently, his wife just claimed something about him. He's going to have PTSD from this. He doesn't seem like he's too shaken up, to be honest with you. Seems pretty calm, cool, and collected. But I don't know. Bad news for Alec Baldwin. I can't wait to see what more comes out from this. Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.